Welcome to A Piece of CX. This week we're going to take a look at how we route interactions within RingCX. RingCX is RingCentral's contact center platform, natively built by RingCentral, and it's a really interesting platform in how it can route both voice and digital across to agents, and it ties in really nicely with the RingEX, so RingCentral's message, video, and phone platform as well. Now, within RingCX, what we have is concept of workflows, and we have workflows, we set them up, and we then have the workflow studio. Now, it's a flow editor, and that's not going to be a surprise to anyone here, but we also have the ability before that within voice queues, so under this button here, to then go and set a number of things that are specific to the queue irrespective of what we set up in the workflow studio, to the point where you can essentially route without having to have anything in a flow whatsoever. So let's have a look at the workflow studio first. So I have here my standard voice workflow. I can see what numbers are assigned to it. Nothing at the moment. You wouldn't necessarily set something at the workflow level. You might do that at the queue, for example. And I've got no reporting that I've set up on it at the moment. And I can flow between workflows with a drop-down menu nice and easily. If I launch Workflow Studio using this button, then I get a nice blank canvas. And from here, I have a whole toolbox of functionality available to me. And this is really interesting in that it keeps expanding depending on the release. And actually, I've not seen this for a little while, and there's a lot more features and functionality than I am used to seeing within RingCX. So there's a lot that we can play with here. And you'll notice they've split it out into voice and into digital, but let's create a really simple flow. So we start, and then we just grab a connector and we go out to a play audio. At the moment, there's nothing in that. And I click edit, and then I can say play welcome message. And I can select an audio file, go to the audio library, or I can manual enter and do that. So everything is edited within the audio library instead of it having potentially a text-to-speech editor within here, for example. But if I click OK, then we're going to route. And if I click edit on that, then I'm just going to call this route to support. I'm going to select my type of queue. And again, I could have the option here of going off switch, but we're going to go voice queue. We're going to click support voice and click OK to that. So let's have a look at some of the other things we might potentially use here. And say you're getting to know this for the first time, you can click on show no details, get a lot of information there. And also about Workflow Studio is going to take you to the support site and give you a lot of information to work with as well to build out your IVRs and everything that you need there. So let's go back to this. We've got the ability to add categorizations to our interactions, to branch. So we can drag one of those in. And if we click edit, then we haven't created any branches yet. But essentially, that's how we are going to break down different types of interactions. We have our options to get voice input. So here, maybe instead of my play welcome message, what we're going to do instead is click edit. And we're going to say main menu. Give it a type. Enable speech recognition if we want to. Charges may apply. Save the import. Again, we apply our audio files and what we want it to do, and we give our options. So if I now change that, clicking there, and let's just click that over there instead. Then if we go to that, then we click on that variable branch and we say that that is going to be a custom input of 1. So if I click 1, it's going to go there. And what I quite like here is we can copy and we can move stuff around accordingly. So we can do a route 2 here, or we can just make that our default if we want to. So we build out our routing as we need to. So I'm just going to remove that one now, for example. I'm going to remove that branch. You'll see we've got the options of recording, the starting recording as well. So actually here, this is recording the entire, blah, 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 blah. So we can build out all kinds of different things here and build this out as we need to within a flow and with that, we then also have our on agent trigger or on interaction start or on segment start. So that actually gives us a few other things to play with. So we can build that and then do certain things around this. What I quite like here actually is on disposition. You don't see this on all systems out there, but we can just build that out as we need to and what we want that to do. Then we have our IVAs. So if we're going to build using an IVA, so intelligent voice assistant, then we can go and click on that. I don't have any on this platform at the moment. External contacts, so if we're using a CRM, it's all wrapped up into a function. But then if we need to, we've got our HTTP requests and our JavaScript to create snippets and coding within our flow as well. So there's lots that you can utilize here, and you can save it. You can also revert changes. You can see, here we go, auto arrange. Love this button. Would love to see this in more different places. And actually what it's done there is going, do you know what? You've built this vertically. I am instead going to build it horizontally, as it just makes a bit more sense. So there we go. That looks really nice now. I'm going to click save on that. And then let's look at the other half of the config, which is in the queue side of things. So we're within our voice queue and we're going first to our queue event. Now you might go up to general and just have a look at things here, making sure you're setting recording, AI summaries, all that kind of good stuff. But actually it's the queue events that make things really interesting. So here we've got a straightaway route to agent, play audio loop and hold music. And then after 2 minutes, we just terminate the call. So outside of that flow, we can do different things here. Like if we've got special numbers, if we've got other numbers here, if we've got queue closed, we can go into this and we can do different events and offer different things. So actually, if it's closed, we go to a different type of flow, for example, or we transfer calls as we need to. Max calls in queue. Now, we haven't set that here, but again, if we set 5, then we actually want to make sure that this is set at the same time. And potentially what we do is we requeue that, we send that to a different workflow. And then if I add my queue events here, you can see here we've got lots of different functions. One of them, route to last agent, is interesting. So it's clearly retaining some of that information. We can also play the hold time. We can give the ranks. We can give all kinds of looping audio into this and just build out a ranking of different functions as well. Then if I go to my general, then again, within here, we just see what we've got set up in terms of wrap time, in terms of dispositions, in terms of agent assist, all of that good stuff. And then we just set our access as we need to. And then we have our number assignment. So set at the top level here within a queue rather than directly to the flow. That means we are associating it with a queue rather than just a flow. So lots that you can do within RingCX to route voice interactions. We'll be back with another video shortly where we talk about digital, but there you go. Flow editing, workflows within RingCX. Thank you very much for joining us.